Welcome to CCN TV News, your premier source for local and international news. From the streets of Kingston to the capitals of the world, we are ready to cover you stories that shape our world. Stay tuned for breaking news. The Trump administration's aggressive immigration policies have led to the deportation of thousands of Venezuelans, many of whom are labeled as criminals despite having no criminal records in the United States. This raises serious concerns about the fairness of the U.S. deportation policies and the consequences for those forcibly removed from the country. President Donald Trump, the U.S. government, took a hardline stance on immigration, particularly against individuals it associated with criminal activity. Trump frequently linked migrants, especially those from Latin America, to gang violence. His administration justifies deportations by arguing that they were removing dangerous individuals from U.S. communities. However, reports have emerged showing that many Venezuelans sent to prisons in El Salvador had no documented criminal history in the U.S. These deportations appear to have been driven more by political narratives than actual law enforcement priorities. Venezuelans who fled their home country often sought asylum in the U.S. due to the ongoing political and economic crisis under Nicolas Maduro's regime. Many worked legally, built families, and lived peacefully. Yet due to shifting immigration policies, many were swept up in deportation efforts. Advocacy groups and investigative reports have revealed that some deported Venezuelans were wrongly classified as criminals, based on minor offenses or mere suspicion, detained for immigration violations rather than actual crimes, subject to fast-track deportation without proper legal defense. Many of these individuals were sent to prisons in El Salvador, a country known for its gang violence and harsh detention conditions. This decision, critics argue, shows a lack of regard for human rights and due process. For deported Venezuelans, returning to their home country or being placed in foreign prison presents extreme dangers. Many face persecution by the Maduro regime for seeking asylum in the U.S., homelessness and unemployment due to lack of support upon deportation, violence and exploitation in foreign detention centers. Several international human rights organizations have condemned these deportations, stating that U.S. governments fail to distinguish between genuine criminals and those seeking refuge. Some analysts believe that the Trump administration labeling of Venezuelan migrants as criminals was part of a broader anti-immigration strategy aimed at rallying political support. By portraying deportations as a crackdown on crime, the administration justified its strict immigration enforcement. However, the evidence suggests that many deported Venezuelans were not criminals, but rather victims of a political narrative designed to make immigration appear more dangerous than it actually is. The deportation of Venezuelans under the Trump administration, particularly those without criminal records, raises serious ethical and legal questions. While every nation has the right to enforce immigration laws, the indiscriminate labeling of migrants as criminals has caused irreparable harm to innocent individuals and families. As immigration policies continue to evolve, the U.S. faces several critical questions. Will future policies be based on justice and due process, or will political narratives continue to dictate who gets to stay and who is forced to leave?